Right offhand, let me just say that you've got a very nice golf swing. Your body, your pivot, and everything is as it should be. There's just one thing that's forcing the club face to stay open, which is what we call an angled hinge. As you go through the ball, your club face is remaining in a slightly open condition instead of a closing condition, like a door closing on the ball. You are leaving the door half opened, right? For example, if I pitch the ball underhanded this way, we would call that a vertical hinge. And you'll see the ball would just go straight up into the air. On the other hand, if you slam that door shut, you can see how that right forearm is crossing over. Left palm just would be catching rain at this point. You just fold up both arms and there you are. And that's how you get the draw. Now, the thing here to understand is that what you're going to do is you're going to get down the first base line, and as the club face squares, the closing, you're hitting the inside quadrant of the golf ball, and the ball goes between first and second and just draws, naturally falls left. So you're not doing that at all. What you do, first of all, your hands are too low here. They need to be more up there. And by having it in a too much of a cock condition here, your tendency is they leave it open. See how my hands are here as you go through? Laid back. And that's what's giving you a fall off to the right. It's really not a difficult thing to understand. If you just look at this little stick I've got here, as you go through the golf ball, if that little stick is pointing skywards, which is what we call a vertical motion, that would be like pitching the ball up over the track, over the tree, or getting it out of high rough, this manner. Notice where the stick is? On the other hand, if you really wanted to hit all you can get out of this shot, you want that ball to go out and then fall left. Driving shot, you want that toe up. Look where that little stick is pointing. See it? It's what we call a horizontal motion through the ball. See it? And from there you just come straight up. Now, what you're doing is you're in between here, in there, and what we call that. That's what you're doing. It's called angled hinging. And when that does, that ball just flies out there, kind of tends to fall to the right, and you lose yardage. It's, and you're capable of getting a lot more. And it's not a difficult thing to get yourself to do because you've done it from time to time without even knowing it, probably. Huh? Now, the way to teach yourself to do it, and this is one of the most difficult things that we've been taught in golf, is to get here and start the downswing by driving the hips and legs. This is a very serious error because this causes the club to go outside in across the ball. For example, if I get here and pull the left hip behind me, you can see how I have to go outside in. From this picture here, what you want to do is keep your right hip behind you and uncock both wrists right straight down. It's what we call a karate chop right into the ground. Now what will happen at this point is you go right out to first base. You see how I went out there? Look with the toe up. Look at this picture here. And what will happen there, of course, is your pivot then will take you around here. What you have to learn is to keep your right hip back and swing both hands past your left hip. They've got to go past your left hip. Look at this picture here. See? There. With the toe up. See it? With the toe up. No matter how you look at it, it's right hip, right arm, and now it's right arm keeping this back. You swing the toe of that club past your left hip and then follow it up. The rest of your golf swing looks pretty good. But your hands are too low, too close to your body. You should have at least one hand span here, one hand stand here. Right? That gets your forearm up here, get your right forearm out clean with the shaft. That's the preferred condition. gives you a lot of room here for the right hip, right arm. Take that club up where it ought to be. Right here, right there. As long as you got a 90-degree left wrist cock, and get away from cocking your right wrist. You don't cock your right wrist, you know. Otherwise, you have what we call John Daly's a double wrist cock. See, now you're going to have a lot of problems getting back on what we call plank. So it's merely right hip. Notice how the hip and the arms go back together, and you cock your right forearm, not your right hand, just your forearm. That gives you a 90-degree cock there. See? That's all you need. And from there, it's right hip, right there. Just keep your hip back. See how I started this motion? Now, wham, hit out to right field, down to first base line, with the toe of the club coming up. So the toe of the club here. You see where that stick is horizontal? Then you just come right up from there. And believe me, that'll do it. The rest of your golf swing is fine. So, the golf stroke is controlled with your hands. Huh? So, your hands are on the club correctly. It's just they're too close to your body. You need to get more in that condition there. Huh? See that one hand span there? Let it do that. Right hip, right arm. Now, this right arm. Look where this club is going up. Here. And then there.